Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The ceremony is now called to order. Please stand for a word of prayer from a student from the Antigua Girls High School.
Good morning, all. Let us pray.
Good morning. Let us all pray. Lord God, we praise you and know that you are fully in control of all things. Today, we pray specifically for the welfare and well-being of all children. Father, surround them with your grace, love, and protection. In times of joy, let them recognize your blessings, and in times of challenge, grant them strength and faith.
We pray for the parents, guardians, teachers, community members, and organizations who work tirelessly to safeguard the future of all children. Serve as their guide and provide them with knowledge, understanding, and direction. May they hold steadfast in the important work that they do.
As we proceed today, dear God, bless us with your grace and your presence. We pray for the peace of mind and heart of each person gathered here today. May we all recognize the important work that is being done and have faith that you are working all things together for good.
In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Please remain standing for the national anthem being performed by the Antigua and Barbuda Youth Symphony Orchestra. Thank you so much for that lovely rendition. Please be seated. Good morning once again. It is an honor and privilege for me to present this morning's Master and Mistress of Ceremony, Miss Condoleezza Daniel and Mr. Cuthbert Marcellus Forbes Jr. Condoleezza Daniel is an intelligent, dedicated, determined 10-year-old grade 6 student of the Holy Trinity Primary in Barbuda. Condoleezza presently holds the position of president for the school student council for the term of 2024 to 2025. She is a manifesto of fresh and brilliant ideas to make her school more attractive and learning more fun. In addition, she recently won her school national wear competition. Condoleezza wishes to become valedictorian of her class next year after writing the grade 6 national assessment. She has a passion for learning that allows her to excel in all her subjects. In her spare time, Condoleezza enjoys listening to music, dancing, and helping her mother cook. Mr. Cuthbert Marcellus Forbes Jr. is a well-known public figure with years of experience in the field of communications. Currently, he is a senior administrative assistant within the Office of the Governor General, assistant to the Governor General's Goodwill Emissary, Her Excellency Lady Williams, and PRO of the Halo and Halo Generation Y Foundations. This son of the soil is passionate about youth and national development and is a lover of the performing arts and pageantry. He believes strongly that with dedication to succeeding in everything he does and then paying that success forward to others through active mentorship and support. And this, he believes, is the key to a fulfilling life. So please join me in giving a warm welcome to Ms. Condoleezza Daniel and Mr. Cuthbert Marcellus Forbes Jr.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. No, I mean, there are more students out there than I heard just now, so I'll say it again. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Okay, so before we start, I would like to, of course, observe the protocols for this morning. We would like to acknowledge the presence of the acting Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, the Honorable Steadroy Benjamin, the Honorable Sir Malwin Joseph, Minister of Health, Wellness, Social Transformation, and the Environment, the Honorable Darrell Matthew, Minister of Education, Sports, and the Creative Industries, Senator the Honorable Kiz Johnson, Representative of the Governor General, Senator the Honorable Michael Joseph, Minister of State within the Ministry of Health, Wellness, Social Transformation, and the Environment, Mr. Jean-Benoit Magnez, Representative of UNICEF, Permanent Secretaries, Heads of Departments, Teachers, students, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome.
All protocols established. I am Ms. Condoleezza Daniel, your co-chair for today's proceedings. Welcome to the launch of the State of the World's Children Report.
So before we go into this morning's proceedings, of course, because we don't have much time, we're going to make sure that you thoroughly enjoy yourselves. I see a very packed agenda. So I'm going to allow my co-host this morning to welcome the first agenda item for today's proceedings.
To start today's program, we'll have a musical solo by Miss Xenia Thomas, student of St. Anthony's Secondary School.
Welcome her as she comes.
Good morning. There's a man, oh yeah, standing on the corner. He has no home, he has no food, and his blue skies are gone. Can you hear him crying out? And there's a girl who is sick and begging to be free, but there is no cure for his disease. He looks up to his mother as she holds his hand.
Have a place to
no food, and his blue skies are gone. Can you hear him crying out? And there's a girl searching for a father and a friend, praying that the storm someday will end. But instead of walking away, open up your heart and say, I am here. You don't have to worry, I can see your tears. I'll be there in a hurry when you call. Friends are there to catch you when you fall. Here's my shoulder, you can lean on me. Oh, oh, there's a child who is sick and begging to be free, but there is no cure for his disease. He looks up to his mother as she holds his hand, praying that someday the sun will shine again and the pain will end. I'm here, I'm here. You don't have to worry, I can see your tears. I'll be there in a hurry when you call. Friends are there to catch you when you fall. Here's my shoulder, you can lean on me. Tell me how can I love Jesus when I never seen his face? Yeah, I see you dying and I turn and walk away. So hold my hand, yeah. Let me take you to a friend of mine. He's waiting just to ease your troubled mind. But instead of walking away, open up your heart and say, I am here. You don't have to worry. I'll be there in a hurry. Sing with me. Friends are there to catch you when you fall. Here's my shoulder, you can lean on me. Here's my shoulder, you can lean on me. Here's my shoulder, you can lean on me. Here's my shoulder, you can lean on me.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me just say, and I'm going to say this, Condoleezza, because I'm sure you would agree with me. We have a talent that is well and alive in Antigua and Barbuda. With a few more years, I can bet you're going to see her doing a solo with the National Youth Symphony Orchestra. So we're going to be ready for her in a few years when she comes back to wow you. As we continue along, what's up next, Condoleezza?
Please help me welcome Honorable Sir Malwin Joseph, Minister of Health, Wellness, Social Transformation, and the Environment.
Good morning, everyone. Are you hearing me clearly? Let me say it's truly a delight for me to be here this morning. Let me recognize the acting Prime Minister, the Honorable Cutie Benjamin, my colleague minister, Darren Matthew, and certainly the representative of UNICEF, Mr. Benoit Mahes, and your associates. Thank you very much. That's better. When I received the request to make a few remarks this morning, I thought it provided me with a delightful opportunity to outline some of the recent commitments of the government articulated by the Prime Minister. And I'd like to say that I'd like to congratulate UNICEF and express government's appreciation for the collaboration over the years. It has served Antigua extremely well and has given us capacity that we would not have had otherwise. So we'd like to, for you to convey our appreciation for the tremendous support over the years. Over 35 years ago, the world stood still and decided to recognize children as probably the most important age group in the humankind. And the purpose is to recognize, of course, that children are our future. Now, that is sometimes expressed as a cliche, but it is a reality that the way we invest in our children, the effort we make in ensuring that our children get the best support for development is inextricably linked to the development of a society. Since 1993, Antigua and Barbuda signed up to the rights of children. My remark today is to highlight in a capsulated form what we have been discussing in the cabinet of Antigua and Barbuda. And as Minister of Health, I have a particular perspective because in my ministry, we have the pediatrics department, which is responsible primarily to bring into Antigua and Barbuda healthy children. And so we decided that we would look at how we support that entire process. And we have decided that we would work on a concept of tracking development of children. Let us be frank. What we have in Antigua and Barbuda is the different institutions that have defined responsibilities for children. We have the hospital that's responsible for the birth of children. We have our schools that's responsible for the education. And we have our social agencies. And of course, we have health at the primary level, which is very important. But what is missing is an integrated effort and how each agency or each institution plays its part. And we are in Antigua and Barbuda, and this has been discussed, to bring all the agencies together so we can track the development of our children. How would this work? As it is now in the tertiary institution of the Celeste Bird Medical Center, in the pediatrics department, there's a certain amount of data taken as it relates to the mother, the family, and the child. However, when that child leaves the hospital and then that child goes to a home, the question must be asked, how prepared is that child at home to deliver all the requirements of that child's development? Who then is responsible to ensure that every step of development of that child is properly monitored? And here is where this government has decided to take some steps. Every child in Antigua will be tracked for its development from birth until adulthood. From birth until adulthood. And this will be done by integrating the efforts of all the agencies. We should not wait until there is a problem for an agency to react to find a solution. We must take a proactive effort and have a policy that we will prevent rather than cure. Prevent rather than cure. You know, it's amazing today. Children experience adult diseases. Do you know that maybe 30, 40 years ago, you could not find a child with diabetes in Antigua and Barbuda? You would be hard-pressed to find a child in diabetes. What better way to fight NCDs than to ensure that that child in its maturation is given the support, starting from pediatrics all the way through community support at the community clinics level? And what must be recognized as an important aspect of it is how our social agencies are designed, how they are equipped to make interventions. Who monitors whether or not a child is getting the right nutrition? Whose responsibility it is for a child to get the necessary social support, psychological support, emotional support? This is a very complex issue. But I think with proper planning, proper design, that we can achieve something remarkable in Antigua and Barbuda by developing a system where the child becomes the object of development, not only physiologically, but also psychologically and emotionally. And we should not wait until we have the proliferation of deviancy in our society to say, we must find an institution so we can reform our young people. We are spending more money in correcting the problem than it would take to prevent the problem in our society. And so I would reach out to the representative of UNICEF to say that I've been given authorization to request that we might, if with the collaboration of UNICEF, that we could start a pilot program in Antigua and Barbuda. A pilot program designed with the expert advice of UNICEF and the support of UNICEF to design a pilot project to take a child from birth to adulthood. And what is required? What is required? I am sure that the government has the necessary resources. There's no doubt in my mind. But what might be missing was this approach, an approach where we decide that we are going to prevent the problem and not spend an enormous amount of money in trying to react and solve the problem. This is I must say, frankly, this is the typical situation in the world. Antigua is not unique. As a matter of fact, it's only in recent times we have been seeing deviancy, but we have been seeing it throughout the Caribbean and other developing countries for many decades. But we are not going to sit back and allow ourselves to be overwhelmed by these issues. We are going to be proactive. And with UNICEF, I believe that we could go a long way in getting the support. We need to look at the current status of management information system of our social agencies. What do we know? Where are the problem? What are the determinants of the problem? What communities in Antigua and Barbuda require most of our support? We do not have the data. We think we have notional ideas of where they are. And then when we look at the different communities and we find we're able to see in terms of data where we are and the severity of the problem, the costs associated in responding to the social deviancies, then we can say this particular community needs more investment. This community needs the support system where we can prevent our children from developing social, unwelcome social behaviors. Now, finally, I would like to comment on the implementation of Child Rights Ambassadors Program. The right of a child must be considered as one of the most important policies of any government, the right of a child. And what that means is not so much legal rights, which is important, but it must be reflected in the investment a government makes in children. When I speak about investment, it's not only financial, it has also to be the kind of social programs. How do you bring the entire society of Antigua and Barbuda to recognize the most important aspect of its development is investment in children? There cannot be any question. What we see in Antigua and Barbuda today, in terms of our children, speaks to how much we have invested in the past. Now, if you all agree that we will invest now, I am absolutely confident that we could have quick turnaround in terms of the development, and I'm talking about now the holistic development of our children in Antigua and Barbuda. This would require not only the effort of the government, but it's going to require all of society. There is a tendency, let me be very frank, for people in society, some leaders in society who should be stepping forward. When we have these problems, they ask the question, what is the government doing about it? But I'll ask the question, what are the other social institutions doing? How much are they stepping up and being part of the solution? My government has absolutely no problem in its allocation of funds, allocation of human resources in the development of our children. Our children are the future. And let me say, Mr. Mahis, that we welcome you here today in Antigua and Barbuda. And I look forward to the discussions that are planned between my ministry and UNICEF, where I can get into the more specifics in terms of the program outlined by the government of Antigua and Barbuda. And finally, if we are going to solve many of the problems we are faced with, and I say we, I'm talking about humanity, and it's not specifically to Antigua and Barbuda. If we are going to do so, we've got to release ourselves from some of the old ways of doing things. We've got to encourage our children to step forward and begin to prepare themselves for responsibilities in society. We cannot keep our children in the background. They must be at the foreground. They must be challenged, and they must be supported at all levels. Let me say that I am heartened by the courage of the young lady who came here and sang for us. It shows by her demonstration that she has the capacity, even on stage, to overcome what she thought was a bit of challenge. That was a good sign. And that is a good way to start. It tells us that our children, if given the opportunity, can make enormous contribution to our society here in Antigua and Barbuda. Let's make a commitment to ensure that our children get the best of our efforts. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we can give the minister another round of applause for those remarks. Sorry. Okay, thank you. At this time, we now move into the launch of the Child Rights Ambassadors Program. And this segment of the program will include a few parts. We will first have the overview of the program by Mrs. Fiona Charles Richards, the Director of the Family and Social Services Division. We will then have a video presentation, followed by the youth response by Mr. Kieran McKenzie, Youth Ambassador, which will move into the reveal of the logo, which will be led by the ambassadors team and a few of our students here this morning. So we would like to welcome Mrs. Fiona Charles Richards to come and give us the overview.
Good morning, everyone. Let me observe the protocols already established. The right to play, the right to an education, the right to speak and share your opinion, the right to participate, the right to citizenship, and a name. For every child, these are more than just some of their rights. Children are to be protected under the Convention of the Rights of the Child. Children are rights holders, and although they do not have the ability to exercise powers as adults do, their contribution to our development holds significant implications. I learned only recently that we, this generation, through our collaboration or engagement with our children, that we, this generation, we know the way, we have the resources to ensure that the rights of our children and their voices are heard. It is when we collaborate with our children that their efforts to impact are greater. When our children understand that they're able to advocate for their rights, the world is made a better place. Why? Because children have rights too. And just as our minister said, they are indeed our future. This is why I'm delighted to be a part of the Child Rights Ambassadors Program launched today in Antigua and Barbuda. The Child Rights Ambassadors Program is a rights-based education strategy that teaches children about their rights, contained in the Convention of the Rights of the Child and trains them to speak out on issues that affect them through creative means and allow them to become ambassadors in their own right. This program seeks to reach and not bring only awareness to children, but also to impact our duty bearers, such as parents, teachers, government stakeholders, and community leaders that engage with our children. The government, more so the Ministry of Social Transformation, wishes to express sincere thanks to UNICEF for their support and introducing this initiative in Antigua and Barbuda. It is our aim to make child rights ambassador for every child who understand and advocate for their rights. Children, let's watch this next video.
Good day everyone, my name is Mandela Anger Enyanju, also known as Mr. Teenage 2024, and I am here to speak about the importance of childhood. Childhood is a period in our lives where we have so much opportunities coming towards us. It is also a period where we start to build our dreams, our upcoming futures, and the possibilities that we gain in our life. Some children in this world don't have these opportunities, nor they do not have education in their life to help them start this building stage. So I encourage parents to please always be with your children, always guide them through life, because your children are the future leaders of tomorrow. Thank you.
Children have a right to play, a right to be heard, and a right to feel protected, among other rights. Children of Antigua and Barbuda, the time is now to advocate for your rights. The Child Rights Ambassadors Program needs you. Join today. More info coming soon.
Good morning once again. May all protocols that already established be observed. Good morning, distinguished guests, fellow advocates, champions of the change. Let me begin with a question. What kind of world do we want to leave for the next generation? Is it one where children are seen but not heard? Or one where voices are valued, their rights protected, and their dreams nurtured? Imagine a world where a child has the freedom to dream, the confidence to speak, and the opportunity to thrive. Such a world is possible. And programs like the Child Rights Ambassadors Program are helping us get there. This initiative is not just a platform for discussion. It's a catalyst for transformation. It empowers young people like us to step ahead, take action, and ensure that the rights of children are upheld, celebrated, and protected. Advocacy is one of the most important tools in the hands of the youth. It reminds us that we are not just leaders of tomorrow. We are change of agents of today. Through this program, we are learning how to amplify the voices of every child who may not yet have the strength to speak up for themselves. We are equipped to challenge injustice, inspire our peers, and to create ripples of positive changes in the society, our communities, and even our country. But none of this would be possible without the vision and commitment of the government of Antigua and Barbuda and UNICEF. Together, they have shown an unwavering dedication to the rights of children. By enabling this program, they have not only invested in the youth, but in the foundation of our nation's future. They have demonstrated that well-being of children is not just a priority, but is a promise. For that, we are deeply grateful. As youth ambassadors, they stand ready to take up the mantle of responsibility. They pledge to advocates unafraid to challenge the status quo, leaders who inspired others to take action, and defenders who ensure that no child is left behind. Let us continue to dream of a brighter future and work together to make it a reality. Because when we invest in the rights of the potential of a child, we don't change the lives, we change the world. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's thank all of who just came and made remarks. I would like to point out something that the youth ambassador, he said that when we make the change, we're not just impacting their lives, but we're impacting the world, and that is true. We do have a bright future when I look out at all the students here today. So we continue with our program.
Now we will have a cultural presentation by Imaya Guinness from the Honeybee Theatre.
Good morning, everyone. This presentation is entitled My Rights. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things are gonna get brighter. But that's not today. And I know you expect me to say that I feel like I am a priority, that first and foremost is my safety. But between domestic and political adult egos making decisions for us children just to see where it all goes, but after the ink dries and all the smile photo ops, sometimes I really do think you forget about us. I mean, it's 2024 and I still don't know all my rights. But I should, because I have access to the convention, right? I should speak truthfully and for my right, but only when spoken to, right? I can't express my opinion or stick up for myself cause I'm rude, right? Even if I was rude, the things some adults do, right? Like making me to a teacher apologize because he bit me, but he was right. And of course, I don't want to embarrass my parents, right? So no reporting what they, the teacher, pastor, politician, adult did, right? In 2024, I'm still being told children should be seen and not heard. But what's the point of speaking up and out when no one is listening, or worse, I'm punished for the spoken word? You see, I love everything about the convention. It speaks my right to an education and protection. I love that it talks about my safety and dignity, even though some of you ignore the reality of period poverty. But you, tick, tick, tock, tick, tick, tock, tick, tick, tock, are running out of time. Or maybe it's just about time that we reintroduce, reproduce, and make it #1 on the news. Hear ye, read all about it. The Convention on the Rights of the Child. It's more than just a paper. It's more than just words. It's something that has actually been applied. I want to get everything because you said I have that right. I want to walk without fear and dream as big as idea because you said I have that right. I want to grow into an adult educating children on their rights because that is right. So after 35 years, I say thank you to those of you who have remained true in educating us on our rights, for being our voice in those fights, for remembering us and empowering us, and for making the world just a little more just, at least for some of us. So let me remind you, with just this little spoken word, I am a child, but I have the right to be seen and heard. Thank you.
Thank you for that powerful presentation. I would now invite Mr. Sean Benoit Magnes, UNICEF representative, Eastern Caribbean area, to give a few remarks.
Thanks. The protocol has been respected, but I would like to insist about how grateful I am for the very high official attendance today. And also, mention that our most important guests are the children, and I should, add them to the protocol one by one, but it will take us a lot of time. I'm here today at the occasion of the launch of the State of the World Children's Day 2024. It's UNICEF milestone report. Oh no, another report. The UN produced report, on an industrial scale. And Emia, after your wonderful speech, will you read this report? I'm not sure. Mr. Acting Prime Minister, will you go through it? I won't force you. But I will ask you, and I will humbly and confidently demand you to act on the three main components of this report. This year, the main thematics that have been highlighted are urbanization, which tends to destroy traditional societies and create problems on access to medical care, water, services, security. The second element is climate change, and you're on the forefront of that. The third one, and you are young, my time has gone for that, is artificial intelligence and new technologies. Those three elements, whether you read or don't read the report, will impact your life and shall guide the action, the policies, and the commitments of all the people sitting in the front row. The report has been issued on the 35th anniversary of the Convention of the Rights of the Child, so it's not any report. And it projects a vision, not for today, but for the future in 25 years. As the Honorable Minister Joseph has mentioned, 25 years is a long time. It gives us the opportunity to prevent rather than to act 25 years later on those issues. We are all too aware of the devastating impact of climate change. Memories of the destructions of Hurricane Irma in 2017 are still vivid. The recent destructions of Cyclone or Hurricane Beryl are also a strong reminder that we remain fragile. Rising sea levels, biodiversity loss, extreme weather events, and increasing heat. 2023 was the hottest year recorded in history, are becoming a new reality, are actually a reality of the past already. And children of small islands and developing states, despite it's not their fault, inhabit some of the most climate fragile countries in the world. Therefore, you are the front of potential action, complaints, suggestions. According to the report, if we do not change, if we conduct business as usual, not only on this island, but as honorable ministers mentioned, at regional and at global level, there will be a terrible reckoning. In 2050, 8 times more children are projected to be exposed to extreme heat wave. 3 times more children will experience extreme flooding. More children will be affected by serious drought, by more frequent hurricanes. Technology can help us, and we are all very confident about the brave new world that tech is bringing us. However, it offers an ambiguous support. For example, the advancement of artificial intelligence, it's a mind-blowing potential which is both thrilling and exciting and scary. We simply don't know, especially us people of the older generation, where it will lead us. We do know is that this technological advancement is likely to increase disparities between those children who can access and master those technologies and those who cannot. And I had yesterday a very good discussion with our friend, Honorable Minister of Education, on the programs to bring children of Antigua and Bermuda to scale in accessing those technologies, even in the most deprived areas. I'm confident that jointly we will progress. Let's not forget, however, how COVID-19 pandemic exposed this huge divide between young people who could continue and sometimes improve their education with devices and reliable internet connection, and those who are still left out of the digital world. What I like about Caribbeans, and what I like this morning about the speech, is that it's not a culture of despair. It's a culture of not only hope, but really positive mindset. And I'm confident that if we invest today, as was recalled to us, in expanding climate resilience, in infrastructure, essential services, social support systems, we cannot avoid the change. We might not even control it, but we might mitigate it. And we can deliver safer technologies, design, and connectivity to all children. In UNICEF, we have a worldwide program we call GIGA that provides internet to all schools. Expanding such connectivity across the sub-region has been a guiding beacon for UNICEF, and I know for our friends at the government. We know how much it matters. But when I say we know, again, it's not up to me to decide. It's not my life. My life is over. It's about children. As was mentioned by Emia before, their voice matters. And it's not just a tick the box. Let's have children speak at one ceremony once or twice a year. It's not to be able to politely hear, or even better, listen to them. It's how we can transform this voice into action. And again, yesterday, I had the opportunity to see the progress that the island will do on building a national student council, which will be an important relay for the voice of youth to be taken seriously by people in charge. I therefore really encourage you to join all the initiatives. We also spoke of the Child Youth Ambassador, and to maybe propose new ones to make sure that your voice, boys and girls, rich and poor, people from the city and from the rural sides, people with disabilities, are heard, listened, and acted upon. So the 31st anniversary of the convention allows us this moment of reflection on the many things that we did good, as was reminded to us before by the Honorable Minister Joseph, but by all the things that remain to be solved for today and tomorrow. And we shall do it together, not expect it to come from the sky, not to expect to come it only from UNICEF or the government. Also, again, I can reassure you of our commitment. So I changed my mind. I really think that you all should read that report, not to look at all detailed figures, because I'm convinced that those three elements, urbanization, climate change, technology, won't change everything, but are really important trends to prepare, to prevent, and to position yourself for the future. Thank you again for your attendance, and let me commit again of our support. And I'm sure my successor as a speaker, Honorable Attorney, will further explain why and how it's important that Antigua and Barbuda continues to commit, keep the promise for the right of children. Thanks again.
Thank you for your informative remarks. Please help me to welcome the Honorable Steadroy Benjamin, Acting Prime Minister and Attorney General of Antigua and Barbuda, to give his remarks.
A very good morning to one and all. Madam Chairperson, kindly permit me to adopt the protocols already established. Today my heart was full as I walked through these doors and I saw these young people in this building today. I had to greet my young people from my alma mater, the Antigua Grammar School. As they take their positions up behind the instruments, I will say the words of the Antigua Grammar School. Semper vivens, always flourishing. The Antigua Grammar School. I wish to point out that my government has always been extremely concerned about the youth. I endorse this morning everything which the Minister of Health stated. As a matter of fact, we've gone further than that, you see. Quite recently, you would have heard of the Child Justice Act being passed to protect young people even when they become deviants. Different way of treating with children because we understand the importance of the protection of children. You would have heard recently as well of the Anti-Gang Act. That act was passed by this government to make sure that the young persons who may probably be going off course ought properly to be brought back on course. And then again, we have got systems in place to make certain that that happens. I am pleased today because I can remember as a little boy, 15, 16, looking at the way in which the orchestra played this morning, the little girl who sang this morning, my school alma mater who will be playing this morning the band. I remember my dreams. I remember my dreams. And I made certain that as I went into politics and became a politician, that we always in this government do what is right in the interest of the children of Antigua and Barbuda. This morning, I've been charged with the responsibility of delivering the statements of the Prime Minister, who is presently in Guyana, with Prime Minister Moti and others fighting again to make certain that the world is protected and that we as a nation can come together in unity. It is a pleasure to stand before you today on behalf of the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda to signal my government's unstinting support and commitment to drive in the advancements of the conventions, my friend, from UNICEF on the rights of the child, especially at this juncture as we celebrate its 35th anniversary. This commitment, I dare say, is not whimsical, as we understand the precious resource in our children and in particular in our nation's youth. As you're well aware, Antigua and Barbuda ratified this convention in 1933, and since then, we've been grappling with identifying the resources and aligning them with the best practices to address some of the emerging challenges and opportunities faced by our children. Today, I signal my government's unwavering commitment to face these challenges head-on, to ensure that all of the rights enshrined in the Convention on the Rights of the Child are a reality for every child across the nation of Antigua and Barbuda. I state emphatically that my government will therefore establish necessary mechanisms to monitor the implementation of these rights and ensure that our decisions are supported by relevant data. This is a tangible demonstration that moves beyond lip service and brings authenticity to the ceremony in which we are engaged today. The Ministry of Social Transformation, headed by my friend, Sir Maureen Joseph, has already been leading efforts in this regard and will continue to do so to ensure finalization and reality. I think it my responsibility nonetheless to share with the young people here present today a poem, If, which I learned when I was 15 years old in the 5th form at Antigua Grammar School. And I wish all you young people today to listen to this poem and to live your life in accordance with that poem. Because at the end of the day, you will all be better persons. It influenced me, many others across this nation. And from my alma mater at 15, that poem made me what I am today. And if you are to be true ambassadors, you have to be driven by what this poem states. It goes as follows, written by Rudyard Kipling way back many, many moons ago. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if, Michael, you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired of waiting, or being lied about, don't deal with lies, and yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster, my alma mater, and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can force your heart, your nerve, your sinew to serve you, my friends, when they're long gone, and so hold on when there's nothing in you except the will that says to you, hold on. If you can fill the unforgiven minute with 60 seconds of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man and woman, my children. However, there is one verse I must state that I did not remember to bring before. And this applies to all persons. Remember this, Mr. Michael Joseph, as you go into your career. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings, but never lose the common touch. If neither friends nor foe can hurt you, if you young ladies talk with all persons, but with not one too much. This poem, If, has been the guideline of what has made all of us from the Antigua Grammar School, most of us, what we are today. And I want you, my alma mater, the Christ the King, well, not here today, but the Antigua Girls High School who are here, and you young ladies and men who have done such a wonderful job playing today, I'm proud of you. Let not your heart be troubled. We, the government, shall implement every program, every law to ensure the rights of the child. And you from UNICEF, I'm asking that you work in conjunction with the Minister of Social Transformation to make our dream become a reality. My government has caught the vision, and we shall live the dream. Good morning, and thank you very kindly. Good morning.
Let's give it up one more time for the Honorable Stedroy Benjamin for those inspiring words. Before we continue, I'd just like the minister to know that you made me very jealous. I did not attend the Antigua Grammar School. Okay, so I only see one of my current former. Give it up for the Clear Hall Secondary School. You have to make some noise over there, man. You can't be so timid. But we continue along, and at this time, we will have the signing ceremony. We will have ministers of parliament or permanent secretaries and UNICEF representatives who will be escorted. But while that is happening, we will have a cultural presentation by the Antigua Grammar School Steel Orchestra. So you are free while all of the signing and formalities are taking place to shake a leg, 2 hands, throw your hands up in the air. Do whatever you must, but enjoy the presentation. Thank you.
What a lively musical presentation by the Antigua Grammar School Steel Band. I am asking for your extended patience as I welcome my co-chair, Mr. Cuthbert Forbes Jr., to give his vote of thanks.
Thank you. Let me firstly say that it is my honor and privilege this morning to say thank you to all of the persons who made the proceedings possible. The vote of thanks, in my opinion, is one of the most daunting tasks that can fall on anyone's shoulders. Lest I forget anyone's name, it is not my fault. But before we proceed, I would also like for everyone to know that at the end of the proceedings, all of the remaining students and the attendees are welcome to come and sign the petition here that you have in front of you on the rights of the child. This morning, I would like to extend profuse thank you to the following persons. To the Honorable Stedroy Benjamin, Acting Prime Minister, and Attorney General and Minister of National Security and Labor. The Honorable Sir Malwin Joseph, Minister of Health, Wellness, and Social Transformation. Minister of State within the Ministry of Health, Wellness, the Environment, and Social Transformation, Michael Joseph. Mr. Jean-Benoit Menyes, UNICEF Representative. Mrs. Fiona Charles Richards, Director of the Family and Social Services Division. Mr. Kieran McKenzie, Youth Ambassador. My co-host, Ms. Condoleezza Daniel, who at only 10 years old is doing a remarkable job. I just want Condoleezza to know that you are coming for my gig. I have a few more years left, a few more good years, so don't move too fast, okay? I still would like to host a few more events. We say a special thank you as well to Ms. Zanaya Thomas for her lovely solo rendition. Ms. Amaya Guinness from the Honeybee Theatre, thank you for your powerful and impactful presentation as well. We extend thank you to the Antigua Grammar School Steel Orchestra for their lively presentation. You missed it, but I was actually dancing, and in case you didn't know, I taught them everything they know. I arranged the piece, I wrote it, and I gave them all the lessons that they had. I want to say thank you as well for the participation and enthusiasm from all of you who came this morning to make this morning's proceedings happen. A special thank you as well to the Honorable Senator Kiz Johnson, representative of the Governor General. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Thank you to all our schools for participating. Thank you to the education officials for your outstanding leadership. And we would like to say a special thank you to the UN agencies who stand firm in their commitment to positive development, not only here in Antigua and Barbuda, but the world. Yes, yes, give them a round of applause. A special mention goes out to the Department of Youth Affairs, Family and Social Services Division, and all the departments and entities that made this morning's proceedings possible. A special thank you as well to Permanent Secretary O'Keefe, Permanent Secretary Sarah Stewart, Mr. Jamil Lee, Ms. Janella Evanson, Ms. Doria George, Mrs. Sophia Zachariah, Ms. Tiffany Strand-Peters, Ms. Nikisha Joseph, and the Social Transformation Events Committee led by Dwania Lake, Mrs. Timberlyn Moses, Mrs. Joyanne Charles, Ms. Jermaine Lewis, Ms. Linnea Frederick, Mr. Alson Jarvis, and Mr. Cheyenne Fitzpatrick. Thank you all so much. We continue with our thank yous as we thank Mrs. Lornette Shepherd for providing us with this lovely venue. Every time we have the opportunity to come to Casa Palmadita, it is always different and it is always welcoming, so thank you so much to her. We say a special thank you to Chasso Media. Am I getting that correct, gentlemen? Chasso Media for being here this morning. Thank you to Science Plus, the Antigua and Barbuda Defense Force, the Antigua and Barbuda Transport Board, the Royal Police Force of Antigua and Barbuda. Thank you all so much for ensuring that this morning's proceedings ran smoothly. I would like to thank everyone again for coming and make sure that your proceedings, oh yes, how could I forget? How dare I forget? Please do forgive me. Thank you so much to the Antigua and Barbuda Youth Symphony Orchestra, our talented young people. They have been making waves, and I can tell you, not only here in Antigua and Barbuda, but I have had the pleasure of being with them in London, where they have also showed that they are ready to take the stage. We will have that rectified, no worries. So, we continue, and while the cocktail, we will move into our cocktail segment for this morning's proceedings. As we say once again, thank you all for coming, and safe journeys and travels on your way back to your various destinations. Have a wonderful day.